Hello and welcome to 72 Dragons Health. Today we had the pleasure of speaking with Aziza Jaffer Sharma. Aziza Jaffer Sharma is a professional dancer, choreographer, cultural entrepreneur, director, producer, and humanitarian worker. Born in Canada from Indian origins and raised in Burundi, she spent her formative years in Bujumbura. Her love for dance began at age 5 when she started learning Kathak, a classical Indian dance form. This early exposure laid the foundation for a lifelong passion that would eventually intertwine her artistic pursuits with humanitarian endeavors. After schooling, she moved to Canada for higher education, where her dance journey evolved further. She joined a semi-professional Indo-jazz group and contributed to multiple artistic projects, showcasing her talent on diverse platforms. At 21, she began her humanitarian work in Kenya, dedicating herself to the small village of Matangwe. Back in Burundi, she collaborated with the Asian Women's Association's Burundi, working tirelessly to uplift underprivileged women and children. She also inspired others with her artistic passions by teaching children, teens, adults, and senior citizens to dance. In October 2022, she graced the cover of Burundiana magazine as the icon for working to destigmatize taboos and social problems through her diverse activities. She produced and directed Break the Silence, a short film launched on World Mental Health Day in 2022 to spread awareness of mental health and to encourage people to deal with anxiety, depression, panic attacks, and suicidal tendencies by having conversations with trusted companions and mentors. Now, a proud parent of twins, she embodies the spirit of creativity and compassion. My name is Dr. Pietro Aparicio from 72 Dragons Health. Welcome to this interview, Aziza Jaffer Sharma. We are indeed honored to have you with us today.
Thank you.
I would like to congratulate you for making such an empowering film that addresses the mental turmoil of people globally. What was your call for action that made you step into filmmaking?
So thank you very much, Pietro, for having me on this platform. It's an honor to be here. And responding to your first question, I actually started with first doing a video on climate change. And that's when I thought, let me just continue doing videos on other social problems. And one topic that's very close to my heart is mental health, because I actually went through depression at a very young age. When I was diagnosed with Cushing's syndrome, which is a very rare hormonal disease, at the age of 24. And it took me 4 years to recover, but I did go through depression during that time. And I felt like this is not a topic that's talked about much, and that it's important to bring it up because what I went through, I'm sure others have gone through it as well. And if they are able to relate through this video, they might actually try and change something in their life and maybe talk about it as well.
Thank you for sharing your personal story. Now, having worked with people trained in different dance forms and belonging to different ethno-linguistic backgrounds, you must have developed a keen sense of character. Does a dance form influence the message you want to convey? Can you speak more about that?
So, as you said, I'm an artist, but the one thing that I'm very passionate about is dance. And so I'm a dancer, I'm a choreographer, and any other artistic form I would try would I would always try and encompass dance in it. And so for me, I always felt that dance is a very powerful tool that is understood by anybody, really. It's very universal. It doesn't require any words, it requires movement, it requires expression.
Great. Now, talking about dance and Break the Silence. Break the Silence talks about finding a guardian angel that can help you navigate through tough time. Why was this important to bring up in this film?
So the guardian angel in the movie or in the film is actually very symbolic. It could be anyone or anything that can uplift someone or that can encourage someone to come out of the situation that they're in. It was really just to represent that. And people could see it as an actual person, but sometimes it could also be something you heard, something you read, a movie that you saw, that will just like shift your mind slightly to then tell yourself, I can come out of this and I can do this. So it was really just symbolic, and just saying that there is always that one thing, whether it's yourself or somebody else, that can help you come out of it. And so you're not alone. It's also another message saying there is always a helping hand if you need it. So that's why the guardian angel was part of the story.
Wonderful. I enjoyed watching it. I thought it was wonderfully done and really enjoyed the dance and the
Thank
message.
you.
Now, what has been the reaction of the general audience, the scientific community, and your friends and family to Break the Silence? Are there any valuable lessons from your direction experience that you would like to share with fellow filmmakers?
So answering to the first part of your question first. So amongst my family and friends or those who saw the movie and who know me, I there was a lot of positive reactions that came from it. Actually, one person said, "Oh, it I can relate. It feels like the guardian angel that you talked about, that hand is Jesus's hand that can help me and get through difficult times." Somebody else said, I actually see myself in this movie and I feel I should speak to someone, and actually encourage that person to speak to a professional. And again, that's also the beauty of art, right? It's open to interpretation. It's whatever the person is looking at, the way they want to interpret it, then be able to relate to it, that makes sense to them. And so that was the reaction. And even the rest of the community, whether it was scientific or it was the private sector, because if you actually look at the end of the movie, you'll see all the sponsors. There were a lot of private sector investors or donors in this movie as well. And for them as well, when I did the launch of this movie, I did it and I invited all the stakeholders, all the actors, whether it was artistic, from the private sector, from one of the organizations or the doctors that had their name at the end saying, if you need help, please, you can go to them. And I had them all in this one room during the launch. One or two of them said, what's beautiful about this is that you brought so many different types of communities together for one cause, which is very important. And so that's the type of feedback I got. And when I actually, and I think that now I'm coming to the second point of your question, is I'm not a very experienced filmmaker, because to tell you the truth, this is like my real first short film. But I really started doing videography because of COVID. The truth is, because as a performing artist, during COVID, everything was shut down. We didn't know how to put our art out there anymore. And so going online, starting a YouTube channel was our way to actually start expressing ourselves again, and reaching out to people. And so this is how my journey as a filmmaker really started. So I won't say I have that much experience, but what I have learned from the little I've done so far is that when I did this last project on mental health, Break the Silence, I collaborated with a lot of local artists. So everything in that movie is from scratch. And whether it's there was if you notice in the movie there's like a painting in one or two scenes, that's also from a local artist. And then you have the music, you had the dance, you had the costumes. If you look at the costumes, every single costume is telling a story related to mental health. We also did a whole photography exhibition that went with the movie, which also had every picture said a different story related to mental health. And so what was what I really learned is that if you allow the other artists to collaborate, meaning you let them think what as create the way they want within that topic, they also feel a sense of ownership. And it didn't become my movie, it became our movie. um and and so that's, I think that was the one of the most humbling experiences that I had as well, is being able to work with such talented artists. And they would tell me, they're like, Aziza, okay, what do you want in terms of costume? Tell us. And I said, no, here's the topic, here's the story. You come up with the costumes you want to come up with, and you just tell me. And so they came up with such good ideas. I'll give you one example. In one of the shots, where there's the dancers, or you have the guardian angel, and then you have these other people who are dressed in black trying to stop the girl from making it through the light. One of them is actually wearing a full black kind of cloak, and so he represented a bat. And that actually, when I asked the designer what's the story behind it, he says in their culture long time ago, women who would get pregnant and who were not married, unmarried women who got pregnant, would be they would be put in a cave and closed in. And so that bat represented one of those bats in that cave who is witnessing what this woman is going through. It was actually very deep, and I was very impressed and touched with some of these stories. And I myself got to learn a lot about the local culture here as well.
Thank you for sharing that. I think by looking at the details and by hearing what you're saying, it really makes the film more insightful and more powerful. Now, as we said in the introduction, you have been around the world and have had an adventurous life. What are your future goals? Are there any new films in the pipeline? Do you see yourself exploring a new art form?
My future goals. So, like you said, I'm a mother of twins now. And so I did had to put a stop or slow down a little when it came to my artistic endeavors. But I do hope that I can continue. I'm back to teaching dance, which is already the first step. And I'm really hoping to be able to do more films like this. And I do have a couple of more topics in mind, some that are related to my personal life as well, and some that aren't. And definitely, if you're interested, I'll let you know what it is when it does come up. And exploring other new art forms. Well, I actually sing as well. I don't know if I'll dedicate a lot of my time to it right now, but that is something I do want to explore a little more. And now the filmmaking is fairly new for me, so I'm happy to just enjoy this art form for now, until I feel I can maybe do another one. But again, always trying to incorporate dance, music, or something in that is always going to be a goal of mine.
Great. We're looking forward to see your new projects and your new adventures. Aziza
Thank you.
Jaffer Sharma, Thank you for sharing your experiences. We appreciate your passion for art and altruism, which has contributed to global mental health and will continue to do so. At 72 Dragons, we wish you the best in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pietro. It was a pleasure to be here.